Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. And in this video, I'm going to be going over 6 things you should know before you buy your RitFit M1 version 2.0 Smith machine. Now, if you do decide to buy this Smith machine at any time during this video, I highly invite you to check out my link down below in order to purchase it. I'll get a small commission and it just helps me support my channel. And at the same time, if you have any questions at all about buying a Smith machine, let me know in the comments. I know it could be a very nerve-wracking decision deciding which home gym machine you should actually buy. So I'm here to help. But let's go on and get started. So first things first, the RitFit M1 version 2.0 Smith machine is a budget home gym, okay? It's made for beginners to intermediate, not really advanced lifters, not really people who are dropping atomic bombs on the rack. It's for an average gym goer, all right? So what I mean by that is sometimes people may see that it feels wobbly, and I don't really get that. I use the Smith machine mostly, or the Smith machine bar, and I don't really get the wobbliness. I mean, I'm in the Facebook group and I'm in some Reddit threads, and some people report saying that the machine does feel wobbly. But in all honesty, like if that bothers you, then yes, it probably isn't for you. But for me, it does just fine. Like even when I'm doing my lat pull downs, or I'm doing my seated rows, or I'm doing my chest presses or my squats, the machine feels fine. I feel safe in it. And also with the Smith machine bar right over here, you have the safety bars right down over there. And it really does work fine, okay? So the wobbliness, if it does bother you when it comes to machines, do expect there to be some wobble. Like, I feel like you can honestly make any machine wobble just by shaking it back and forth. Like, any machine is going to do that. Maybe like instead of those, maybe not those highly commercial grade ones. But for a home budget gym, like, do expect there to be some wobble, especially if you force that wobble, okay? Now, moving on to point number 2, I do want to go over the lighter weight capacity. So RitFit reports that it can hold up to 1,500 pounds when it comes to their free bar or Smith machine. I wouldn't do that much weight on it, okay? So I'd say at most 225 is how much I do, and I feel perfectly comfortable with it. But like I mentioned before in the beginning of this video, if you're an advanced lifter, if you're pushing some really heavy metal, if you're a hyper power lifter, probably not for you, okay? The RitFit M1, I can't imagine being really good for power lifters or people who are hoarding lots and lots of weight. But if your max weight is like, let's say 3 plates each side, I think that's going to do fine, okay? For someone like me who does like either 1 plate to 2 plates each side, that's perfectly fine for me. It's not a big deal when it comes to I have to do more and more weight. And that if that's the case, you might want to get a different machine. But for the average home goer who's just looking for a beginner-friendly budget rack, I'd say the RitFit M1 version 2.0 Smith machine is going to be able to encompass the majority of that range weight where I mentioned it was like 2 plates each side or less. Now, moving on to point number 3, we do have to talk about the components of the RitFit M1 version 2.0 Smith machine. So some of the materials may seem cheap, okay? And that is to keep the costs lower. So for example, this right here is the strap, all right? And it's got some plastic components. This right here is the lat pull down bar, which again might be seemingly as cheap. Like the handles don't feel the best, but what can you expect when it comes to a budget home gym, right? So not everything is going to be commercial grade, or else this machine would have to be a lot more expensive, right? In addition to that, you've got the nylon pulleys, which some may feel to be interpreted as cheap, but in all honesty, I'd say it does the trick, okay? Whether or not it feels cheap to you, I can understand why people have a problem with that, especially when it comes to, you're going to be gripping this for quite some time, right? And with that, if you can get over the feeling of, like even the Smith machine bar, it doesn't really have knurling to it. It just feels like you're holding a metal bar. That's the kind of drawback in order to get this RitFit M1 version 2.0 Smith machine to be at its price that it's currently at. And again, the price is really good. Right, the price for it is really good, especially for beginners who are starting their home gym. But let's move on to the next point. Now, the next point I want to cover is that the RitFit Smith machine tries to do it all. And this can be seen as a pro, and this can be seen as a con. Now, because I have a limited amount of space within my gym, aka my 2-car garage, I needed something to be all compact. But kind of like that saying where you're a jack of all trades, but master of none, that's kind of what happens here. So for example, the pull-up bar, it's not the best, but can you still do pull-ups? Sure. The Smith machine bar, it's not the best. It doesn't feel great, but can you still do Smith machine workouts? Most certainly. The lat pull down, it's not going to be the best, guys, but can you still do lat pull downs? Yes. Same thing with seated lats. Can you still do those? You can do them, but it's not going to be the best. But you still get a nice, decent workout, guys. I'd say it's not more so about the machine. Like you can honestly get a good workout with just dumbbells and a bench. That's really all you need to work out. But with the compactability of it and allowing you to do all these different workouts within a confined space, that's what I was after when it came to me getting the RitFit N1 version 2.0 Smith machine. So I was already open to the idea like, okay, I bet you the pull-up bar is not going to feel the greatest. Same thing with the Smith machine bar, it's not going to be the greatest. But I'm willing to sacrifice that and accept that as long as I'm still able to do those workouts. So the variety of different exercises that I'm able to do does make working out for me a lot more fun, and it makes it more enjoyable compared to just doing the same workouts over and over again. But do expect there to be some trade-offs in a sense that, yeah, jack of all trades, but master of none. That's basically what RitFit is, but for me, it's still worth it. Now, the next thing you need to know before you buy the RitFit machine is that it is plate loaded. Okay, this is very, very different from most commercial gyms where it's a plate stack, which is already included. Now, with the plate loaded mechanism, like you see right here, so I have to load plates in order to do my lat pull downs or squats. But with plate loaded mechanisms, and something to think about, when you do plate loaded mechanisms, especially if you don't keep track of your workouts, it's kind of hard to know what weight you pushed last week. So let's say, for example, I have 4 plates on here and doing a lat pull down. Next week, I might not remember that I did 4 plates. And so I might do a little less. So the overload of my weight that I'm actually pushing is a lot less. Now, the reason why that matters compared to a weight stack, if you can imagine you're in a commercial gym, if you put the peg inside 150-pound plates, you're more than likely going to remember like, okay, I remember putting this peg in 150 pounds. But compared to a loaded plate like this one here, you don't really remember like there's a 45 pound, there's 225 pounds, there's a 45 pound, there's a 35 pound. And over here we have like 5 different plates, right? You're not really going to remember that unless you write it down. So that's the biggest con that I can kind of think of when it comes to actually working out consistently, is that you kind of forget, unless you're tracking your workout weights, you kind of forget how much weight you're actually pushing when it comes to lifting these weights. And so something to consider, I mean, I don't mind taking the weights on and off. It's more so the sense of like, I want to keep progressing every week. But even so, I'd say the way to solve that is just to make sure that you keep track of how much weight you're actually pushing, so that next week you can do a bit more. And the following week after that, you can add another 5 pounds and so on. Now, the last thing to know before you buy the RitFit N1 version 2.0 Smith machine is that you are going to need additional components. Unless you buy their full-on package, the additional components that I bought a closed grip handle, which you see over there. I bought a tricep pull-down bar. I bought dumbbells over there. I've always had those dumbbells. I bought Olympic rings for bodyweight exercises. I bought better barbell clips just because the ones that they gave didn't feel the best. And I also bought a seated leg attachment to kind of hold myself down when I'm doing lat pull downs. But that's pretty common across all home gyms, in which you are bound to eventually buy additional components. But it's not going to be the biggest make or break. Just know that with the RitFit N1, those are the components I personally bought. And I'll leave a link to these down below in the description, where again, you can use my link if you want to go and purchase them at no extra cost to you. But with that being said, guys, that right there is 6 things you should know before you buy the RitFit N1 version 2.0 Smith machine. And again, if you want to go ahead and support me and my channel, I do invite you to check out the link down below in order to actually purchase this at no extra cost to you. Thank you all so much for watching. And again, I know this decision of deciding what home gym to buy can be nerve-wracking. So let me know if you have any comments down below. I would love to help. I'll see you guys all in the next video.